What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Sorry we took some time off. We were going through a bit of a rebrand there. We've renamed the show to the End Zone Experience. So when you go on YouTube, that's what we're looking up. We trying to find something more with a little more flavor. Don't be deterred if you see that pop up on your timeline. That's still us.
Yeah,
To
on all platforms too.
all
Twitter,
platforms.
TikTok, all that. Yeah, it's on experience though. Yeah.
Diving into the schedule, week one, we got Dallas headed to the Meadowlands. Talk to me about this game.
Hey, look, man. Look, this is a matchup that we get. What does it seem like once every other year? Sometimes back to back years. You know what I mean? We going to New York, but hey, look, we always beat up on the Giants. I think it's the perfect game for Dak to come back out. Um, See what Mike McCarthy going to do. I mean, the Giants are a well improved team. You know what I mean? It is a tough atmosphere down in New York, but I'm glad we're going there early in the season rather than later when it's getting cold and all that, man. So you know what I mean? But as far as starting the season off, I'm cool with it, man. You know what I
No,
mean?
I like
That's
this.
good, New York.
Brian Dayball in year two. Daniel Jones a little richer. Will Saquon play on his tag? You know what I mean? There's a lot going on there. Divisional game should be fun to kick off the season. Following week one, we head home and we got the Cowboy Killer coming to town with his new jersey on. This is a fun game.
Oh yeah. Damn, I can only imagine the headlines for this one, man. I just hope look we can break the curse a little bit. You know what I mean? Still got Aaron Rodgers, he's still in the green. Still might be a little PTSD behind it or whatever, but I feel like, honestly, we'll be seeing a better team this year versus what we seen last year. So it's gonna be a tough matchup. And actually a tough team that's on the rise. But I think it'll be a good measuring stick for us early in the season, man. For real.
I agree. And don't forget Tom Brady's last game. We had never lost to Tom Brady had never lost to Dallas, but then he caught that L. Maybe we hand Rodgers one here in his last time against Dallas, probably.
Hey, you gotta climb that mountain sometimes, man. Slay the dragon, bro. Shit.
Week three, we head to Arizona. I assume Kyler won't be ready yet here, and this game, I don't think this game will be important because we're gonna need to get the win here. On the road, Arizona probably won't have a quarterback. What are your thoughts there?
No, I think this is definitely a confidence builder. We don't know what that team will look like. It'll be a new identity. We don't know how it's gonna be. So you let a team like this come out and catch you by surprise. You know what I mean? Anything can happen. You know, I go any given Sunday. So this is one of those ones where after two tough games, I think you want to come out here and take care of business. And then in the McCarthy era, honestly, we have. You know what I mean? All the winnable games, as of old, when it was Jason Garrett or whatnot, it seemed like we always played down the competition. You know what I mean? But lately, what I can say is it seems like we take care of business, though.
I agree. And it seems like we got a different set of dogs on this roster, man, that they do show up for these games that
Yeah.
maybe the last coaching staff didn't get them up for. Week four, we have Uncle Bill, man, headed to Dallas. And when I see this game here, in my mind, obviously barring injury, I see McCarthy and Dak versus Mac Jones and Bill Belichick. And I
Right.
love McCarthy and Dak in this situation. I do.
Yeah. I'm just glad we ain't got them in New England this time. They
Right.
come into Dallas. You know what I mean? I honestly, it's a very, very winnable game. And honestly, I think you look at the first 4 weeks, I think the schedule is kind of favoring us a little bit here, man. But yeah. So we get the Cardinals and New England back to back. Was it both of them was home games, I believe?
We were at Arizona week
At
three.
Arizona, so it's a little back and forth. Okay. But I mean, yeah, I think I like the matchup, man. I'm not too scared of New England. You got to watch them. Strong defense over there. But on the flip side, our defense against that offense,
Right.
sign me up for that.
Week five, we got the rematch that we all have been waiting for. Who's going to be playing quarterback for San Fran? That is up in the air. Sam Darnold, Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, who knows? But this is a game that I feel like we need for the fan base because the last 2 years has been such a disappointment in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And this is a
Tough.
team that we will probably meet come playoff time.
Oh yeah, it'll definitely be a measuring stick. I wish I have to look and see as far as the time for this one. Is this a Sunday night game? Let me see. Let me double check that. San Fran. Yep. Okay, so this is the late game.
Nice.
Yeah, man, this will be a primetime matchup. Definitely a revenge game. What I like about this is getting San Fran early. This is a team that once they get into their flow and get into the season, and Kyle Shanahan does his thing where he fine tuning everything, they hard to beat. You know what I mean?
Right.
So as good as a measure stick this will be, but I think you can say this about all times. I don't think teams really find out who they are until what would you think? Like after the bye, maybe like week 8, you kind of know who you are.
There's definitely a season within the season,
Yeah.
you got your preseason, and then I'd say the first month and a half or so, you're still trying to figure out your identity, what works and what doesn't. But I would say, week 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there is
Yeah.
when you really understand what you're working with.
Yeah. It's
And
gonna be a tough
then
matchup though.
I can't wait. I got this one circled. I need this game bad, man.
I'm anxious to see this offense, back out there with TP and against that same defense. I'm not so worried about the defense. I think we'll play well, but the offense, I like to see what type of changes Mike McCarthy will make versus what he didn't see from Kellen Moore in that playoff game.
Exactly. On to week 6, the Cowboys are headed to Los Angeles to play the Chargers. Will
Speaking of Kellen
Eckler?
Moore,
Ooh, Kellen, bro.
right here.
Dan Quinn versus Kellen all day, bro. Dan Quinn is gonna smoke Kellen Moore, bro.
I mean, listen, Kellen Moore got the weapons over there, man. Don't sleep on him, but I think it's a revenge game for both sides. How anxious is it for him to prove, himself against, Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy and all those bright lights with all these new shiny toys he got. So yeah, Dan Quinn, I will hope he come out here. And I mean, one thing about DQ, I know he's gonna be ready. He
Right.
probably got some stuff that Kellen Moore never seen before. He gonna bring it up. So
This game excites me a lot. Will Eckler still be on the team? He requested a trade, all that. Like, there's a lot that goes into this here. Staley is on the hot seat. I love this matchup here, man. And I love that it's on the road. I love that
I
a
will
lot.
say this. I'm glad that the schedule favors us here. Obviously we was at San Fran. We get to stay on the West Coast, stay there, play the Chargers. So it's like, you know what I mean? I think it favors us as far as like the road. I wonder would they even go back to Dallas where they just camp out somewhere over there.
Right.
But I mean Texas, and it's not too far apart. But you know what I mean? Nevertheless, though, it favors us though. We ain't got to go East Coast to West Coast and nothing like that.
Right. Speaking of Los Angeles, the following week we have the Rams. Oh, I'm sorry. Week 7, we got our bye. Coming off the bye at home, we got the Rams coming to town. And I have to be very honest with you. I think the Rams are going to be horrible this year.
Oh yeah.
I think they're going to stink. And because of that, I think this is one of those games where it's like McCarthy, hopefully he has these guys ready to play, to pour it on them. And I can't wait for this one.
Yeah, I mean, coming out of a bye week, I think McCarthy is generally like one of those coaches that gets his guys up ready to go. We don't got to worry about them coming off flat. I think they'll be well motivated. If you look at their first stretch, it's not the easiest first stretch, but as long as we can come out of there, let's say like 5-2, you know what I mean, or 6 games, I would say maybe like 4-2, and coming into this game right here would be all right.
No, I agree. And
This a
then,
dub though. No guarantees, but this a dub though.
yeah, this one should be. Week 9, we head into the hostile Philadelphia environment against the newly paid Jalen Hurts. We've got Nick Sirianni with new coordinators all over the place. And this right here is like, I'm pretty sure like it's Dallas and Philly and then Washington and New York. You know what I mean? Or New York and Washington. I think there is a tier in the NFC East. So these games, of course, will be fun, man.
And I mean, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
How good would it feel to just week 9, get a dub in Philadelphia? I like the That's a good game.
Dak don't lose in the division, man. So, I mean, if I'm a betting man, I got to hang my hat on that. Obviously, it's a strong team over there. But you said something important. I mean, these games matter. And, you have Philly, you have Dallas. Both of them have tough schedules. So, when you think about what could be the difference, we got to make sure we split. I mean, generally, we do split. I love to sweep them. But we can't play around with them. And why not still the first one and bring them back to Dallas? I'll let us see that. It's going to be tough, though. Tough atmosphere in Philly for sure. They're going to be ready.
Yeah, they will. Week 10, we've got the Giants headed to Dallas. So 9 weeks later, I mean, another divisional game against New York. I love playing our division, man. We play tight games. Everybody kind of plays up to the competition within the division. It's never really these crazy blowouts. I like playing the Giants. It's fun.
What I like about this is I will say, look, week one, we might get caught by surprise. The reason I say that is not that we're gonna lose, but Daniel Jones has this thing like early in the season, he's like freaking Michael Vick or Cam Newton. I don't know what it is, but you get kind of like later in the season, and he kind of goes down and he kind of falls back into who he once was. And I think around week 10, you know, what I mean, the element of surprise won't be there before. Of course, he'll still run the ball. We generally do well with containing Saquon. They got some good weapons over there, but I'll take our secondary. You know what I mean? I'm anxious to see what that Stephon Gilmore addition would do. But I mean, like you said, man, it'll be a close game. I don't really know. Even if you think about all across the divisions and the Commanders, I'm sure we'll get to them soon. But you know what I mean? Close games for sure. I love to blow them out though. We might.
Oh,
Dak might just hang 40 on them. So what do I know?
right. Week 11, we head into Bryce Young's house at Carolina. We get to play the rookie. Carolina is a sneaky good team, man. Defensively, they got it going on. Offensively, there's a lot of question marks there. Who they're going to throw the ball to? Who's going to really be running the rock for them? They did get Miles Sanders. I like this game a lot. See if we can put the pressure on the young rookie week 11.
Yeah, they got a good coach, man. Was able to bring him over after was it Frank Wright?
Yep.
Getting him over there. Hopefully they stick to the run heavy. They had a nice little thing going with was it Steve Wilkes, man. I'm surprised they let him go. But I think he left something to build upon with that team, like a strong defense, strong running game. Like you said, they get a Miles Sanders in there. Bryce Young looks teeny. Bro, I seen the pictures.
I meant to send you that, bro. Behind his line,
man, Kyler is teeny, but I'm gonna be honest, man. A little dude like that going against his pass rush, man. I would hope they just kind of stay run heavy. But another thing, I'm anxious to see him, man. All jokes aside, I hope he does well, and I like to see how he matches up against his defense.
Moving to week 12, we have Washington headed to Dallas. Who is playing quarterback for Washington? Is it really Sam Howell? Does Rivera still have his job in week 12? There's a lot of questions here. I know Rivera's on the hot seat heavily. They're in the middle of some sort of an ownership change. So can Rivera hold his seat? I think Washington might be pretty bad.
Hey, I hope it's Sam Howell. You know what I mean? All that talk they had after the last game of the season, and yeah, they called us flat. But I think for the most part, us fans and everybody in general, I just hate when Commander fans talk. It's all fun and games, man. But yeah, bring Sam Howell back, man. Let us talk to him for a week, man.
I agree.
I mean? Let Micah holler at him.
I agree with that one. And then week 13, we have Geno Smith and the Seahawks headed to Dallas. This is a game right here where I think we really can see what our secondary is. Stephon Gilmore, DeRon Bland, Trayvon, they got weapons over there. They got running backs over there. I think Seattle is a team on a mission here. And I don't know, like maybe they can win that division this year, So this would be a game that they need as well.
Yeah, I mean, tough team. I'm hoping they bounce back. You know what I mean? It's teams like this I'm rooting for. I love to see them like kind of flip the script and come back and be who they once were. You know what I mean? Like one thing I said about Seattle is I'm glad I didn't catch them in Seattle. You know what I mean? This is another team similar to New England. I'm glad we get them coming to Dallas. A good young team. I think it'll be a good matchup though. So it's gonna be a tough year, man. But just like we saying about some of the teams that we face, and they looking at us on their schedule and saying, hey, we gotta face Dallas too. Don't forget that.
Right. Week 14, man, we got the Eagles coming to Dallas. Assuming we wax them up week 9, man, it wouldn't be too bad to get another one here week 14. Because I think right here, week 14 will probably give us a clear picture of who's doing what in the NFC East this year.
Oh, this one has some playoff implications for real.
Yes.
I think right here, this be one of those things where somebody's closing the gap or somebody is trying to pull away. You know what I mean? One of the two. But I do think we'll be neck and neck throughout this thing, man. So this match over here, go ahead and highlight this one. It's gonna matter. That's all I'm gonna do, but this one most importantly, yeah.
I'm surprised that they didn't move this one to like week 18 or 17.
But they gotta give us the rematch for Washington week 18, bro.
That's fair.
Try and catch us slipping, bro.
Week 15. So week 15, the first thing that stands out to me here, man, This might be the worst weather game on the schedule for us. Buffalo playing out up top in New York, man. Week 15. We're talking what, December probably.
Yeah, man, it's a
That's
tough one.
that's a tough game.
But hey, man, I hope the weather's good because I want to get a good look at this Stephon Diggs versus Trayvon Diggs matchup, man. So first time in the career, I think they'll be able to match
Ooh.
up. So let's just cross our fingers and hope the weather is good that we get to see this in full flesh, man.
I didn't even think about the brothers playing each other. I like this a lot, man.
It's gonna be fun week.
Week 16, we head to Miami. And speaking of weather, I'm glad we got Miami week 16 and now week 2 in Miami, man. So
That's true.
that humidity is probably gone. We're talking what, 50s, 60s out there in Miami. I like that a lot.
This will be a good test for the secondary for sure.
Yes.
A lot of speed. I want to see how we match up. And you know what I like about this is that like heading to the playoffs, I don't really see like too much competition that's like terrible or down. Everybody is kind of playing for their lives, fighting for their lives. So I kind of favor that we going through the gauntlet right now. Week 16, 17, you see, I ain't even going to talk about that, but I think, you see the teams is coming. I think majority of them will be playoff teams. So what better way to find out who you are, going into the playoffs and knowing like I'm fully capable of beating any of these teams. So I think it'll be good. So it's a good test.
Week 17, man. Detroit heads to Dallas, and I'm really curious about this one here because where is Detroit in the NFC North in Week 17?
Oh, I think we won for sure. I mean, Minnesota's Minnesota, but I do think Detroit is ready to take that leap. I hope I'm right. It's another team I'm excited to see. But hey, I got them at 1. Where you got them at?
No, I think Detroit can win this division. I'd have to definitely look at their schedule a little more because they should be playing a fairly favorable schedule, but it's not out of the anything is possible in football, man. Like Jordan Love just might be it. The Packers got a good defense, like anything is possible here. But either way, Dan Campbell against Mike McCarthy, sign me up. I like this matchup a lot.
And for this, I think this is one of those teams and one of those things where I think last year there was another team that ran on us, man. It ran on us. And I think the Cowboys knew they had to go out and get a guy like Hankins. And then you double it up and you get a Mozzie Smith. I'm excited to see the matchup. Obviously, you lose Swift, but you get a Jamar Gibbs. It's going to be a whole different, atmosphere, a whole different view of what we're going to get, but it's going to be the same identity. It's going to be a run-heavy team. And like we talked about going into the playoffs, you're going to have to deal with San Fran and Philly and all these run-heavy teams. Hey, get you a Detroit on here right now. And look, Detroit may just be a team you might face in the playoffs as well. So just be ready for it.
That's fair as well. And as you alluded to, Week 18, man, the rematch with Washington. We head up north to play Washington. Fun game here. I don't see Washington having playoff implications in this game. I really don't. Will the Cowboys even have to play their starters here? We won't know, obviously, until that time. So, obviously, I like beating up Washington. What do you say here?
Oh, I think we waxing them, man, for real. I don't think we'll lose no more than 2 divisions in the game. I mean, 2 divisional games this year. But the teams got better, man. I'm not going to sit here and down talk Commanders. I don't really know if they got their quarterback situation figured out, but that defense, and they also got some secondary help in the draft. Hey, Brian Robinson in year 2, man. So I'm not going to sleep on him. But give me Dak in a landslide.
I like it a lot. And then if you had to go back through this, man, we've got 17 games on our schedule. Which game most excites you?
The most exciting game? Let's see. Honestly, I hate to say. Honestly, to be honest, you know what I'm about to circle that San Fran game, man. I gotta circle San Fran. It's the team that knocked us out of the playoffs 2 weeks in a row. And I think heading into the draft and the identity, I think if you listened to us last year, we left that game. They beat us in Dallas. And the Cowboys came into the offseason and said, hey, we want to be more physical. We wasn't physical enough. So they went and got a Tyler Smith. They went and got Sam Williams. They got all these big boys to be more physical. We ran across them again. And I think it was the same tune. It's not that they ran all over us. We was better prepared. But they still was able to run the ball in the most critical situations. You know what I mean? Down the stretch. And I think we knew that, hey, look, we're going to give something else down this middle for them. And then mainly, I think with losing a TP, I don't think people realize that when that went down, I think the Cowboys knew we need another guy that could fill in and do the same type of things. Because once Zeke went out, well, once Zeke went in there, it wasn't the same.
Right.
And they need a guy like that, and then you got to Deuce Vaughn, an extra guy in there. So it's like when guys fall, you know what I mean? But the beauty of it is this time of the year, we should be fully healthy. Let's just cross our fingers and hope we get a nice matchup. But I'm circling this one for sure.
For me, excuse me. I think week 2, man. There's something about this Aaron Rodgers matchup. I need this bad, man. Like he bullied us for way too long now, and he's coming into a really good situation. This might be one of the best teams Rodgers has been on. But
Yeah.
as I said before, is Robert Salah the right coach in this situation? So to me, I see Salah and Rodgers versus Rodgers' old coach and McCarthy, man, and Dak Prescott. And I think that's a fun matchup.
It's gonna be fun.
And I hope we can pull this one out.
But does it take like a little bit of the mystique away, or like the whole Aaron Rodgers status thing that he's not in Green Bay no more? Because I hated the Packers for so long. Obviously, I hate Rodgers, but you know him switching teams is it the same for you?
It is. I just feel like he's kind of had his way with Dallas in his career, and it would be nice to let Dak get that feather in his cap, you know. And
Yeah, let's bust his ass then, bro. Sick the dogs on him, man. So yeah, man. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I think all in all, we got a tough schedule, but we don't want nothing easy, man. I think you've seen certain teams get to the playoffs. You got to play who you gonna play, beat who you beat. We ain't got nothing easy this year. But look, man, I feel like we true Super Bowl contenders. And I feel like the best way to see who you are is to like go through the gauntlet, man. So by the time we go to the playoffs, if you're looking at what we're dealing with, we're gonna be battle tested. And honestly, that's all I can ask for.